Happy New Year, everyone, and thank you for joining us for episode 159 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and I'm joined by my co-hosts,
George Breden
and James Fitzgerald.
In this episode, we talk in depth about the board games Here Lies, Wondrous Creatures, Etherstone, and much more. Enjoy the show! All right, what's up, dudes? What's up?
Hey,
Hello, welcome to 2026, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Even though this episode we're probably like 2 weeks in, but whatever.
That's true.
I'm pumped.
We've just come through the holiday period.
Yes.
The holiday
good.
period is rough.
Survived.
It's really hard for me to keep consistent with the podcast. In the past, when we did it weekly, it was even harder.
Oh, it's a busy time, yeah.
It is. Normally, in the past couple episodes, we were bringing back the random question thing, but I thought of something new. Here we go, people.
I'm nervous.
You're nervous?
Yeah.
This is Trash Review Trivia.
What
Okay.
could that mean?
Try to guess what game people are trashing.
Basically, yes.
Oh.
So what really irritates me is when I look up a game on Board Game Geek, especially if you filter it by comments and you look at the 1, 2, 3s, and 4s and what they put. Some of you all are stupid. Just flat out, just stupid. Like, I don't know how to be nice about it. This rating system has a thing behind it.
Right.
And then you put the dumbest crap.
If you
in
say
this-
it's a 1, you're saying it's not a game, basically.
You're there's a lot of things I can say that is very just, metaphorically slap in the face. Let's just put it that way. And some of the stuff I read is, I mean, it's funny sometimes, but
Yeah.
it makes you think.
Are
People
these going to be
go-
well-known games?
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they won't be, but obviously some of these, I put these in a very specific order. I curated 10 of the most audacious comments
Nice.
on the rating system for one particular game. I will read off the comment and you get one guess apiece based on that comment and the previous comment.
Gotcha.
So you get to guess 10 times.
Okay.
Obviously this isn't like a game show. So if you guess I want to limit it so you don't just throw out every game out there and be like,
Right. Yeah. One guess piece. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
And,
I'm ready.
and if you don't
I
want to
wanna
guess on a comment, you want to win. And the grand prize is. So anyway, you're not going to be able to guess it on the first 2 or 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. But here we go. The first comment, and I won't tell you what rating it was because I didn't write it down anyway, but most of these are under 4.
Oh,
Mhm.
This game is about as fun as eating sawdust.
Cards Against Humanity.
I'm going to say Power Grid.
I think he said it was 4, or the comments are 4 or less. Is
Yeah,
it over?
Most of these
Okay.
progress up because here's the thing. Here's a trend that I've noticed. Ones, they post stupid crap. Like, it doesn't mean anything. It's
Right.
not useful information.
We
to
cannot guess
anyone.
based on this. Yeah.
It's your
Okay.
little frustrated little mind being like, oh, I'm so mad. Number 2 is basically the same thing. Number 3 is basically the same thing. Once you hit about 4, people start actually putting some reasoning into
Yeah.
it. And then
Yeah.
it progresses up from there.
I don't really think it's Power Grid, but I
I think
No,
it's Cards Against
go with
Humanity.
whatever.
Don't guess unless you actually think it though, because I don't
Oh,
want
that
to
the game is as bad as Sawdust?
Yeah,
Okay.
he just read my
Oh,
comment, so
okay.
it's Cards Against Humanity. That's what I put on
fair.
that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want you to try to accidentally guess the game, and then it's a very short intro. So
All right.
next one, the Coldplay of modern board gaming. Effing boring and inexplicably successful.
Oh, man.
Obviously, I blanked out that thing, that word.
Yeah.
But the Coldplay of modern
What could people think is boring, but it's actually a popular game? There's a bunch. Okay, we're gonna have to hear more.
All right,
You're not going to take a guess, James?
No,
You don't-
Cards
you don't-
Against Humanity.
Here's
Watch
the next
that be
one. Here's
right.
the next. You don't have to guess on every one of them, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Mostly it's just for fun. This might be the most bland and most boring game I've ever played. I don't understand its popularity.
Splendor.
Maybe I could swap those.
I know
around.
what it is. I'm not going to say.
Here we go. We'll read the next one.
You do not.
Yes, I do.
This one gives away a little bit more. You ready? Felt like I was doing taxes, trying to keep track of all the rules and plan out my moves.
Maybe I don't know what it is.
Maybe it is Power Grid.
Maybe it is Power Grid.
No, I don't dislike Power
Is
Grid.
it Detective Modern Board Game or whatever that thing's called?
No.
That's what everybody says is like a spreadsheet.
Here's some more information.
spreadsheet.
I put these in a specific order to give away a little bit more each time. The poster child for everything I hate about Euro games. Awful.
I was thinking Castles of Burgundy.
Tapestry.
No. And I will
Tapestry's
say
not
I
that
did.
hard though, or rules,
I will
that one-
say that I did beta test this with my wife, and she had eventually got it. So we'll see.
Okay.
Here,
Uh-oh.
the last cup. Like this is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's number 6 out of the 10.
Oh, man.
Overly complicated. Takes a whole evening to explain to new players.
Oh, I know what it is.
Do you?
It's got to be.
All right, you
may
can
say
start
it.
guessing for real now, because if you
Well,
get
when
it, we'll
did you
just read
beta
the rest
test
of
it
them.
though? You said you beta tested it.
No. I beta tested this process with my wife.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the game. I'm gonna say it's Root.
Oh, hell.
Oh.
That's a good guess.
It's wrong.
Root is overly complicated, but it's a
Okay.
really good game though.
Here you go. Here's the next one. Ready?
But I don't think, taxes is the thing that's getting me.
I do not want to be the peasant. I want to kill the peasant. No way I'd ever play this manure pile again. Multiplayer solitaire.
Multiplayers. Agricola. It's Agricola.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
Oh,
Wow. That's hilarious. Like taxes with Agricola? No.
All right, here we go. So yeah, it is Agricola. But we'll read off the last 3. The next one is Truly Dull Game. Rates alongside Catan for the most pointless games I've ever played.
I might agree with some of these.
Rates alongside one of the most classic games. Yeah.
This game made me wary of engine building, worker placement, and Euro games in general for a long time. I just
Is
like
it an
reading all
engine
this stuff
building
in
game?
stupid
I like all the
voices.
voices. Yeah. I like all
Is
the
it engine
characters.
building?
We'll get to that. Hang on. Next one.
I'd rather play
this,
Caverna.
this is the last one, and I had this had to be the one that give it away if you didn't get Agricola from the rest of them.
Yeah.
Manual labor and starving children. Fun times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean,
That's sad. People, they just don't get the game. Like, I know some games are not for some people, but come on.
no, I think it not only do some of these people don't get it, but some of these people are clearly new to the hobby
Right.
because their posts are from 2025. And it's like, guys, okay, look, if you go back and crap on a game that came out, 2006 or 7? I don't remember now. If you crap on a game that came out roughly 15 plus years ago, and you said this has nothing, like there's nothing good about it, you're fundamentally stupid. Period. Like I hate to be rude, but if you go back and crap on the games that drove the snowplow through the modern board gaming pioneering trails,
Sure.
Then
You can't say it's that, but you can't say it's not a game level of bad. That's ridiculous.
yes, you cannot like it. I don't care what you think about the game, and you think a game is like that's not for you because I don't like this thing. Cool, that's fine. But if you're trying to trash a game that is super popular, pioneered a way for worker placement games and all this stuff. I had this conversation once on Board Game Geek. Somebody was doing this to Magic. And I was like, listen, you can say whatever you want about Magic as far as you personally don't enjoy it because maybe you don't like the interactions or maybe the card creep or power creep and all this other stuff. But you
Right.
cannot sit back, and this is what they were doing, and say that the game was not innovative and it wasn't a pioneering game. It is the one card game. Actually, it's probably the only card game that has led the way for every card game in existence. Period.
Well, it's kept a whole lot of stores open, that's for sure.
Oh, at first I thought you meant Agricola.
I was talking about Magic in this case.
Yeah, you shifted. Yeah. It's like,
I'm not saying that every game that came out in the early 2000s is amazing or great, but Agricola is one of the ones that a lot of people enjoy. It was mechanically amazing at the time that it came out. It's like it irritates when people say stuff like this about Catan, because Catan came out in 1999, and as far as I'm aware, no other game that isn't a direct ripoff does anything that Catan does.
I thought it was 96.
Can you think of a game that would fire Catan, quote unquote?
Not necessarily, but it was so influential that anything that does anything like what Catan does, you're going to say, it was taken from Catan, right? So
yeah, Catan had its time. I liked it for a while, and it just kind of got old because there's better games.
That's fine. There's a difference between saying Super Mario and the Nintendo is not as exciting to me today as it was when I played it when I was a kid when it came out. Because things change, graphics get better, the design field opens up, there's more innovations that make things even better and better and better, etc. But to take something that came out so long ago that was so innovative and not rate it based on when it came out is just asinine to me. Like, it's absurd. Like, how can you sit back and say a game that pioneered board gaming in general in the modern age is a 1?
Yeah, no, I agree. That's you're making a fool of yourself.
Yeah, basically. So
I don't like Cards Against Humanity, but I don't know if I'd rate it a 1. Maybe a 3.
There's a difference between Cards Against Humanity. You can argue that it's more of an activity than a game.
Yeah.
Right. You can argue that there really isn't much going on. Is it fun? Sure. People slap each other in professional sports at this point. Okay. So people have fun doing something. It doesn't necessarily have to be full of rules. Like, you've seen the professional slapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. They put the chalk on their hand to, I guess, make it look more dramatic. I'm not sure.
So what? Right.
Maybe it hurts more.
Grip when it hits the face. I don't. Got that big puff of.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, there is nothing in that. I'm sure it has a stupid amount of rules because it's a professional sport. But the idea is slap the next person, they slap you back. Whoever falls down loses. All right. It's like paper, rock, scissors. But paper, rock, scissors is basically stupid. And everybody plays it all the time. It's fine.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're trying to say that I bet some of these people rated Monopoly better than this. Like, it just blows me away. And to lead into to not to drag this on out to super high, or super far, long, whatever the word is.
I can't actually think of a game that has fired Agricola for me. I still own and enjoy Convertible.
Yeah, Convertible.
No, I don't agree with you.
Here's the thing. Well, but when we say fire, we mean fired. We mean it's scratching all the same itches. It may not be as good, or you may not care for it. But what I'm saying is it's a modern take on it. A cavern is kind of like a cheat, though, because it was made by the same person.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different.
Or how about All Creatures Big and Small? That's better.
That one is good. The point is, though,
2-player,
here and here's another thing. We'll jump off that to go on to this. Here's some bonus ones that I wrote down that really infuriate me, because I'm like, really? This one, I couldn't figure out how to play it, honestly. Then don't rate it.
Maybe they're just rating the rule book.
I mean, it's not a game for me, and I rated it a 6. So that's
fine. A 6 is fine.
I'm not going to rate it a 1 or anything.
A 6, I think anything 5 or 6. If we're looking at BGG ratings, 5 and 6, that's a good game. Like, 5 is kind of like, maybe going there with a lot of apprehensive. Maybe there's something that's really bad about the game or something. But a 6 plus, you try it. That's it. I mean. Like, if it's a 6 or higher, I buy it at Goodwill. You know what I mean?
I do agree with you. You shouldn't rate something if you can't understand how to play it.
Right.
If you haven't used all the resources out there. There are so many people and so many videos that can teach you how to play that one. Like, it's not a game where the rules are actually incomprehensible. There are some.
It's not. There's videos. There's all kinds of things. If you just can't figure out how to play it, maybe you're not. Okay, if you're saying that maybe you're not strategic enough to play it, that's a you problem, not the game problem. If you're too incomprehensible to read and understand, that's also a you problem.
It could be a you problem. Yeah.
Might need your GED. Anyway. This is the
had
mean
trouble
episode.
with Agricola. Yeah. I understood it from the beginning.
The last, or the second to last bonus is this one. That is the last time I ever take these game ratings seriously, which is the most epitome of an ironic comment ever is to rate the game, I think a 2, if I remember correctly, and then say this is the last time I take these game ratings seriously, when one of the game ratings is this is the Coldplay of modern board gaming. Like, jeez, guys.
That person's trying to be funny, I think.
I guess, but if I remember correctly, I looked at their other ratings and it was like, I mean, do you even like board games, bro? And the last one, which we won't go into very heavily, this comment, I was like, what am I reading, dude? Though the gameplay is okay, I will downvote this game for supporting outdated norms surrounding what a family constellation should look like. Considering the time of release, it should really have less conservative setup than this to fit into modern society.
That goodness.
Said,
What?
this game
It's
revolves around the
medieval
1600s, dude.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's exhausting.
That's funny.
Anyway, keep posting dumb crap on BGG and we'll call you out.
Hey, I'm glad we got it, though.
Right? Yeah.
Or you did. Yeah.
We'll
I
do
would've got
more
it
of these. We might not do them every episode, but we'll do more for sure because
it's
there
been
is
so long since I played it, so I've forgotten how bad
so
it was.
much content out there. So much.
Yeah.
Don't go reading.
We could mix it up. We could mix it up and also like throw in one where we do the same thing, but like super good comments, but they aren't real specific. So we have to figure out which game it is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
They're not as funny though. That's the whole point of this.
On bad games.
That's very true.
The irony and the humor behind it. I mean, the humor, quote unquote.
The unintended humor.
Well, anyway, that burned up a
that's
bunch of
fun.
time.
Yeah, it's fun.
George, we're going to start with you. What you been up to since the last episode?
All right. Well, this is one of my favorite times of the year for board gaming. We always do a gathering. It's kind of like the gathering of friends kind of thing, where same group of people gets together every year, and it's a multi-day gaming event. So we did that again this year, and there's always lots of board games, but there's always a couple other things that we do as well. This year, my friend Brian, he had during the year bought a pinball machine, and it was the Dungeons and Dragons pinball machine, like super fancy. It was really cool. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to play that. Definitely recommend checking that out. Look at some YouTube videos. It's called The Eye of the Beholder or something like that. Dungeons and Dragons, Eye of the Beholder. And so that was fun. And then the other thing that we always do is we play Jackbox when we get together for this.
Is that a trivia?
Yeah.
Okay.
It always has trivia. There's different games, right?
Yeah.
But like I think their best one is the Murder House or whatever it is. What is it called? The Murder Party? I think it's Murder Party. Trivia game. But this year they had one that in the Jackbox 11 pack that I might like it better because it's cooperative instead of competitive. And it's called Legend of Trivia. And so you're like a party of adventurers going through the land of trivia, and you're coming up against all these monsters, and then you're asked questions, and if you get the questions right, you hit the monster, and if you get it wrong, it hits you. It was really fun. Like you have to try to stay alive and take healing potions and like protective potions and stuff, and
that's cool.
Use them strategically. It was great. Yeah, and it was good questions, like things you feel like, oh, I probably should have known that. And they had all different kinds of questions, so that there were questions where it would just ask you a trivia question and you do the answer. But there are also ones where it would show you pictures, and each person on their phone, you're playing with your phone, is shown a different picture. But the question is the same for everybody. So the question might be, which of these animals was in the Lion King? And then you've got a picture on your phone, but it's cooperative. So you can be like, hey guys, was there a hippo in the Lion King? Or not, or whatever, like whatever, it might not be that easy, but just different things. And there are questions where there are 2 answers that are correct out of 4. And so if you get them both right, you hit harder. If you get one of them right, you still hit, but at half your strength. And if you get them both wrong, then you're going to get pounded. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that one. And then, of course, lots of board games. So this year we started off with one. I don't know if you guys have heard of this one, but I believe it was a Kickstarter. Sprocket Forge. I had never heard of it.
No.
But
Actually, yeah, keep going. I think I've heard of this.
I
think I saw the
that you put these gears, 5 of them on your board, and then you during the game collect pieces to go in the middle of these gears, and depending on the positioning of the gear, what's pointing downward is what you collect, and then you use that stuff to do contracts, right? And you can flip over the inner part of your gear and upgrade it, and you can get different like I can't remember exactly. It was some really strange kind of theme where, okay, it was all metallurgy, but at the same time there was magic involved. So there was mana that you were trying to get. I didn't really get that. I didn't really get into the theme of it. But the game itself was actually really fun and smooth. I thought it was nice. And the version that this person brought to the event had the metal gears of different kinds of metal, different colors. This is really nice components, and I had a good time with it. Sprocket Forge.
It's not the game I was thinking of, but that looks really cool. I'm gonna leave that tab open.
Yeah, yeah. I had never heard of it. Really, I thought it was really pretty nice. Not my kind of game, but yeah, I got into it actually. And so we play a bunch of party games. You know, when we have a bunch of people together, obviously. And one of them was a game that I didn't have real high expectations for. It's a little game called Disc Cover, and you have 4 pictures that you put out, and then somebody just plays a song from their playlist on Spotify or whatever. So like it's like random songs. Someone's like, okay, I'll just do this one, and then everyone chooses which picture best matches that, which would be an album cover for that song out of those 4. Like maybe they're not all that close, but you have to pick the best one. You know, it was actually pretty fun. It's interesting to see people's opinions about
how much of the song do you listen to?
Like 30 seconds or something. I mean, it's kind of
get to the chorus or something.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's just for a little span of time. So it's just like you get a feeling, right? And then that's it. So it was kind of like, it was like musical Dixit, you know? It wasn't bad. It was okay. It wasn't anything great, but it was something that was fun. Huh. Yeah, and we played a game that I'm definitely going to talk about more at another time, but it was A Place for All My Books. Great little Euro game, puzzly game. And we played a game that I'm going to be talking about on this episode. Played Here Lies. And played Sanctuary, which I think I've talked about before, which is my preferred game over Arc Nova because it's just faster and cleaner. No money to worry about, and no take that stuff. Anyway, it goes faster. There's less frustration in it. And one of my favorite party games, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. Played a bunch of that. And James, we played a game that I've been waiting to get. Finally got right, and this is one that you said was one of your favorites, and now it's one of mine. Tir na Nog.
Oh yeah,
fantastic game, amazing
game.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I got to play it, and I love that game. Yeah, gonna have to talk about more about that one later too. But that was my my gaming holiday weekend. More than a week, actually. Yeah, more than a weekend. Yeah.
Well, cool.
Good
How
times.
was your New Year's?
New Year's was fine. Yeah, had a good New Year's. Said rabbit, rabbit, rabbit at midnight.
What?
That's a thing that you say at midnight for good luck. It always works. I usually have pretty good luck.
Oh, I'll have to remember that for next year.
Yeah, it's too late now.
I want to say that's news to me, but I feel like now that you've said that, I believe you've said it on another episode.
Oh, yeah? Well,
early on.
We've been doing this for years, so I keep trying to get you some luck.
I mean, I cleaned the house on Wednesday, the New Year's Eve, so because you can't clean house on New Year's Day. So I made sure.
Okay.
Why can't you clean it on New Year's Day?
Sweep away the good luck.
Oh.
But you can blow out the bad luck. You open up the front door and the back door.
It's too cold for that. But we used to jump at midnight to just get right in here.
The plates have fallen from the sky.
Hey, don't give away my secrets.
That would fit though. Like if you're saying rabbit, 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 you might as well jump. Like I'll do that next year.
Fair enough. Was that you for your recap?
That's it for me. Yeah.
James, you want to go next, or you want to fix that?
Sure. No, I just did. I already fixed it. No, you kind of made me forget what I was going to say. So also, what I have started doing, gathering games to sell. I'm at that stage of my hobby life where I'm actually probably going to go scorched earth and get rid of a lot of games. And Alex from Board Game Co. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
He has a YouTube channel.
I've never met him, but yeah.
He just put out a video recently on how to get rid of your games. And one good thing I liked what he said was, ask yourself, if something happened to all my games, would I buy this game again?
Ooh.
And I was like, yeah. So that actually got rid of a bunch of games. So I'm like, I like this game, but would I really buy it again?
I mean, there's context there though. Like I got
true.
a few
I'm not
games.
getting rid of all the games that I answered.
Well, no, I'm saying like I've got a game. It's like I wouldn't pay full price for it, but I bought it used for $5. I'm not used for $5 again, but I'm not going to pay 50.
But I mean, speaking of Caverna, like that's one I'm going to get rid of because I mean, I don't ever play it. I like it a lot. I've played it a lot, so it's like, and I need to sell these games to fund my trip to Origins this year. So
okay,
make sure y'all come to Lexicon and buy my games in May.
We're gonna have to not steal the idea because it's not novel in any sense, but the idea we should have a podcast episode where we do that topic. Like, how do you determine what games to get rid of and kind of do the same thing? Because in reality, those are good. Like all it is suggestions because everybody's different. Your gaming group's different. The people you play games with are different. You know, your income levels are different.
Right.
Your means to acquire things are different. I go to thrift stores all the time and I find crap all the time. And I have a lot of great games I've gotten from thrift stores. And so like,
yeah,
you know, there's it, but I'm glad that advice worked for you. It means nothing to me because
I thought nothing. I thought like that too. And then I actually came down here and started looking at it. I was like, yeah, been on the fence a bit, getting rid of that one. Would I buy it again? I haven't played it. And Board Game Arena plays a big part too, because it's like I've played this game 100 times on Board Game Arena. Do I need it still? Yeah. I mean, I'm the only one going to play it. Crystal's not going to play it, so so that's where I'm at right now. I've got.
You have to have been thinking about that for a while. Like you have to have had some motivation where you're thinking, I should probably have fewer games, right? Before you even started doing that. So you're already kind of in that page.
And he brought one thing like I've done already is like you put games aside in a different room. And it's like, do you miss it? Well, if you don't miss it, then why do you still have it? Type thing.
Wait, just not being in the room with you?
Game.
Yeah,
what? You come down here, it's like, I want to play something. You're like, oh, where's that one? It's not there. It's like, I even forget that they're there.
Works in a collection of 50 games, but if you got 500 games, that doesn't work.
500 to 600. But
like it happens to me all the time. I'm like, where the hell is that game? Because I have so many, I can't find it.
Yeah, right.
But
that might happen with like your top 20 or games that you get out of. I don't know. Anyway,
that works for me.
If it works for you, it works for you. Sure.
Yeah,
maybe.
And we'll talk later about which ones you're selling. Maybe I'll buy.
I mean, Ark Nova's on the maybe pile, and this would be the second time I've gotten rid of it. So because Sanctuary, yeah,
I
think that's pushing Ark Nova out. I like Ark Nova a lot.
Right, but the problem is it's just getting it to the table and playing it for 3 hours doesn't work well.
Right, and I would rather just pull out Sanctuary.
And it comes down to
play the
we're just doing this topic now. It comes down to no, I'm just kidding. It comes down to like a long game. You only have so many long games that makes sense. You know, like the World of Warcraft board game is like 14 hours of play. I've played it like 5 or 6 times, and I've owned it since it released in 2008 or whatever.
Wait a second. So, you've played a 14-hour game 5 or 6 times?
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I've played Sid Meier's Civilization many times, so I can't say much about that. The video game.
But to me, like I haven't played it in a few years at this point, but I'll never get rid of it ever
because you have those memories. Yeah,
there are games like that. I'm not saying every game.
To it.
Yeah, I have games like that I mean I won't get rid of just because, even though I might not ever play it again. Yeah, that they have meanings to. I mean, and
you can play it much faster in 14. By the way, that's with expansions. Yeah. Just saying.
Then on the other hand, I had this list. I was like, I need these games. I want to play these games. Some of them were with Crystal in mind to play with her, but some of them are too. I know she won't like. So I was like, I need to play those solo or some with friends. And I told her about it over the holiday. So we started playing games. She was sick and we couldn't do. She had sinus infection, still does. And we just couldn't go to all the stuff we usually go to, so that turned into game playing. So I've made a list. There's 20 games, new games we played, which is a lot. I didn't think I played that many.
Lay it on us.
So I separated. I'm going to just go over real quick. I separated misses, hits, and big hits. So obviously misses I might get rid of. Hits, they're good, but don't know. And big hits, they're obviously going to stay when they play.
With the misses, George and I, we have to say dibs real quick. No,
yeah, okay.
Dibs. Oh, first
Dibs
one's Curious Cargo is a miss. I set it up, read the rules. We were so bored with it, we put it back up, and it's like, no. Diamond Dig.
Man, I have that. I'm looking forward to playing it.
Diamond Dig, the
first game. Sorry.
Oh, Curious Cargo. It looked okay, but I was like, just bored. Got bored to tears just reading the instructions. Diamond Dig, trashy, the worst rule book I've read in a long time. Couldn't figure it out. It has nice chunky chips. It's a push your luck game. You're pulling chips out of the game.
I couldn't figure out how to play it, honestly.
No. And actually, I figured it out halfway. I was like, this is not bad, but Crystal hated it, so obviously that's a miss because it's not going to be played again. And it was free from Origin, so I have no problem getting rid of it. It was the Alan Moon game. Same guy did Ticket to Ride.
And Bobby West, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad game. Just the rule book was terrible, and the components are pretty good. Third one, there's only 4 in this group. Third one is Soda Jerk. Just not a card game for us. That came out this year.
Did you play with 2 people or more?
Yeah, it's probably better if more people.
You try it again with more.
It's so small. I'm not gonna get rid of it because it doesn't really take up space.
It's Chris Yee, man.
And
if you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah, it was okay.
Does it have take that stuff? It sounds like it. So did jerk.
Kind of.
It's not take that, but you can be a jerk.
Yeah. Okay. You're just trying to get your fruit to score more than what you have in your hand score more than, and try to make them not score as much. It's an okay game, but it just kind of was a miss. And Tim, I think you're going to be upset, but this one, Spirits of the Wild Awakening.
Oh,
it was just kind of boring. It was okay. It was extremely light.
It's extremely light. I can see
bad.
why it wouldn't.
I would give it a 6.5 or 7. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was just like, we would never pull it out again.
Right.
Probably.
Right. I see what you're saying. So it's not a miss because it's a bad game. It's just a miss because it's a miss for you two.
So hits, they would be good. They might not stay in my collection, but they're good. Blockus, which I got for Christmas, that we've never played that before, and it was actually not bad. It'd probably be better at more people.
There was a Blockus Duo, which I think is it just erased Blockus for me. I don't even care to play Blockus.
We got the XL version, and you had to play 2 colors, which is whatever. That's fine. That's no big deal.
There's also a Blockus Trigon that erased that one, and then there's Gemblow, which erased all of them. So
yeah, but Blockus, we'll play again. Coffee Roaster, it's solo only game. I liked it. I'll probably get rid of it because I've got an app and it does it a lot better. It does everything better. I don't have to worry about. If you like the feel of it, then keep the game. But it's a fun game. Formaggio is just a hit, not a big hit. Because it's exactly Fromage. I mean, there wasn't that much difference. I like them equally the same, and I really like Fromage. So Formaggio, I really like, but it's like,
You didn't like the. Okay.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I printed out a 3 thing for it, so they're all combined in one box.
It's nice to have the variety of how you get the points. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like milking the bulls and stuff. Remember, that's what we talked about last time. That's a callback to the last episode.
Yeah. Went over my head.
Okay, Gatsby. Gatsby's pretty good. I think even Crystal liked it, but it's not like great. It'll stay in the collection most likely.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it's fun. Metro is a Suro type game. It's hard to find. The only copy I could buy is the big box one, and I don't like that one. I like the one I played at Origins with the actual colored trains. So, but it was still fun. We both liked it. It's not going to leave.
Wait, what does this one have if it doesn't have colored trains?
It's white trains and colored stations. And it's still, you create the frame based on player count.
Yeah.
Just like the other one. But and you don't even put the trains out there until you make a path. And you just put the train at the end of the station showing that path is done. That's all you do. So the trains aren't really, they're just to show that you've completed the path.
Huh, I'm gonna have to look at that.
From the colored station to the end point station, whatever that's called. I can't remember.
I guess I'm glad I have the original. Jesus.
Right. I would have liked that, but that wasn't available. So I knew Crystal would like it, and she did, because she likes Suro and all those type of games. Butterfly Garden.
Yeah.
Phase 10 tiles. She liked it better than Phase 10, but it's Phase 10, so that's why it's not a big hit. It's good, but if you like Phase 10, that's pretty much what it's a little light tile game. Sirens. Envy Born Games. It's a little box game. I liked it. I don't know if Crystal did, but I liked it enough it's going to stay in the collection. And the last one in the hits, Tokaido, the Stonemaier version. That one was good, but it's definitely got to be played more than 2 players. And because it wasn't because you got this third person you got to move. Whoever's in the lead has to move that person, and it just was dumb. We didn't like that, but it was still, we liked it, but we knew more than 2 players would be better. So the big hits, Dragon Isles, which is the third in the Dragonwood series.
Oh, yeah.
To it. It's up there somewhere. Got that I pre-ordered that. That came out in 2025. And it does everything better. It's the best of the 3. If you like Dragonwood. I don't know if you've heard of Dragonwood. It's a little dice game.
Yeah, I've got Dragonwood. It's in Shrink.
And Dragon Realms. What'd you say?
I got the second one. It's in Shrink.
Oh,
and
Dragon
James,
Realms.
You and I played the first one. It was fun. Yeah.
Dragon Realms is good, but all 3 of them are good. Dragon Isles, we liked it a lot better. I can't tell you exactly why, but Inori, Inori. I don't know if you ever heard of this one, and for some reason I have the hardest time in describing it. So it's one of these ones. It's kind of a worker placement, and you're trying to fill up a card to score points, and when you get chips, so you're trying to get the chips worth whatever chips you have the most of, the worth most. It's actually a decent, really good game. I was surprised Crystal liked it, and actually it was pretty fun.
I like the pictures.
Yeah, it's kind of got a Japanese art, I think, to it, like a watercolor art. Yeah, it's really good. I highly recommend digging into that one.
It's pretty. I'm looking at it too.
Board Game Geek people do a good video on it. Knitting Circle, I think Crystal liked that better than Calico.
Oh no. But
There's 2 different type of games. I like Knitting Circle a lot. It was really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if it replaces Calico for me.
Nope, not for me.
And then a big one. George is excited to hear about this one. The Anarchy. Excellent game.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's probably better than Hadrian's Wall, just because it does little things better. The
George,
defense
you think
stuff.
George is excited about this one?
No, I was just kidding. I was being
I'm not excited about this.
It's a lot heavier than Hadrian's Wall. It is really fun. I like how they do the defensive thing where you're building the walls and stuff. It's one of those ones I couldn't finish because I think I started New Year's Eve morning, and then we had to do stuff, and then people were coming over, so I had to clean it up. And I just kept thinking about it all night and stuff. I'm like, so that means it's a good game. If I kept thinking about it,
kept you up.
I was like, I realized what I did wrong, so I'm gonna have to redo that and stuff like that. It was really fun. There's only one little minor thing about it is it took away where you spend 2 of one color to get another color. I was like, that would have been useful in some parts where I was playing. I was like, I really need that color and I can't get it. But they make other colors to get colored meeples a lot easier in it. So, but it comes across as hard to understand, but once you get it, it clicks. And it's just like Hadrian's Wall in that sense where you're like, okay, I know what causes this to happen and stuff like that.
I've never thought I need a really, really complicated roll and write, but I guess a lot of people really do like it. So maybe I'm wrong.
Once you get into it, it's not really complicated to me. Number 5 in the big hits is Tokaido Duo. It's the 2-player Tokaido. We like that a lot. It was Krista. Another surprise for me. This is the Stonemaier version again. And,
okay, and like you said, you can't really play Tokaido 2-player anyway.
Right,
so
and this one it works. It works really well. I mean, Tokaido's not a heavy game. It's a light little game. It's not really that big of a thinker, but it was fun. We had a good time with it. Definitely keep that and play that again. Number 6, we played it twice, me and Crystal, and first time it was a miss for her, but then she asked to play it again, and I knew she'd like it. It's Trailblazers. I don't know if you ever played that one.
I haven't, but I've seen
the paths.
Yeah.
From the hiking trail,
make the loops,
the kayak trail. Yeah, the loops, kayak trail, hiking trail, and the biking trail.
Real quick, that's one of the games I was going to bring up here in a second. Me and Sierra played it a few times. Oh my god,
yeah.
it is
Do you like
so
it?
good.
I played on.
It is. Have you played it?
I have not, but it's the most suggested game to me on like
Holy crap.
social media stuff and like these automated things where it's like you should be interested in this game. The universe keeps suggesting that I buy this game.
Yeah, I think
the
you would
algorithm
really
at
enjoy
least.
it. Yeah,
it stressed Crystal out the first time. I was like, "Why are you stressed?" Well, I don't ever get stressed with that because I know she's going to beat the crap out of me anyway. So why am I worrying about scoring? I'm just trying to have fun with it, and she did obviously both times. But yeah, Trailblazers was funny because I played it on BGA a lot, and I hated it. Then I went to Origins and I saw them demoing it, and they overlapped the cards to make the trails. I was like, "Wait a minute, you can overlap the cards?
yeah.
Like that changes everything."
Oh yeah.
So then I bought it there.
It's like a tile placement game, but you can correct your mistakes as you play.
Yes. So it's the only problem I had with it was the rule book never explained exactly what a loop was. I know you were talking about starting and the place and ending, but it didn't say a hiking trail has to be on the hiking camp to score.
Yeah, like each trail is color coded to the the camps.
To the camp. But it never says that exactly. You would think. I was like, I think that's how it is, and that's how the examples are. But it never says that. I'm like, I think that's how that works. And seventh, the last one on there's another one, Etherstone, which I'm mentioning later. I won't tell you where that falls on this yet until later. But the other one is it's an easy one. I've mentioned it. We played Exit Event Calendar, the Silent Storm. Obviously, we won't be playing it again, but it was a huge hit. Crystal liked it the best of the 3 we've played so far. It's become a yearly thing now for us. This is the 3rd year in a row we played the Exit Advent Calendar. I mean, it's not that difficult, but it's just a fun little thing you do every day for 24 days. And it was the Silent Storm. She liked it a lot. I mean, it was really fun. And we played the Hollywood Star, the Missing Holidays Hollywood Star one. I like that just because the rooms were, a lot of them were different sets of movies. So you're like, oh yeah, you recognize that movie. The first one we played was the one about the book. You're trying to find Santa's book or something like that. But yeah, so this one, it was a huge hit because she liked it a lot. She kept talking about how she liked it. So we have 2 more. Hopefully the next 2 years will live up to this one. But
all right.
That's what, I mean, we played a bunch of games.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a while since we've had a podcast, so that's probably why too.
Yeah. Holidays, Christmas.
And the crazy thing, I played all those games and I hadn't met with my weekly group since before Thanksgiving until last night. So, I mean.
Oh, man.
And the Etherstone was the one we played last night. So that's the only one. All these other ones I played with Crystal, or by myself. Obviously, she's not going to play the Anarchy. She wouldn't like anything like that. But yeah, that's my.
You?
Yep, that's my list, and that's me.
Sounds good.
I'm not going to name everything I've played, but I will always go through. I don't mean that.
I didn't name everything.
I didn't mean that as a jab. I just meant I'm going to name some stuff that I'll have a couple of little things to say about each one. We played Captain Flip a few times.
Nice.
Game. That's it's okay. It's okay. I think it's
hit.
It's
simple.
Like if I came across a copy of it, I wouldn't mind owning it. But basically, yeah, you flip out those tiles, or you get a tile and you can choose that side, or gamble and flip it over and choose that side, but you can't go back. And then you place it into a column. And that's all the game is. And then the rules on the cards are basically the rest of it. Like set collection, or, if you play this and there's none of the other, the same tile in the same horizontal row, you get gold or whatever. And then at the end, whenever somebody has filled up 4 columns, the game ends and whoever has the most points wins. It's super simple, super easy.
Yeah.
It's a very light game, but I could see how might be a little bit not lengthy, but like annoying just to wait for other people. It seems like one of those games you should all 4 be able to
simultaneous.
Pull out a tile. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get why you can't. So, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're a statistics person and you're worried about stuff coming out of the bag, you could just do, well, I don't know. It'd be interesting to try.
Put everything in the box top.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody reach in, grab one, put it in front of her, bam.
Is this a game you would buy again if you didn't have it?
Correct.
I wouldn't buy it in the first place. But
ouch. No, it's good. It's good.
No, it's fine. I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's something I would own, but we'll see. Maybe I'll play it more and find out.
It's a nice filler.
Yeah.
I played another game called Solstice, Solstis. It's a little card game.
I got things to say about this game, but you can go on. You first say it.
I thought it was really clever. It's really fun little 2-player game where you're drafting these numbers in different suits, but you're basically, for lack of a better term, building a pyramid in front of you.
Yes.
Which is basically a mountain, but each color is a row of this pyramid, and the numbers are in the spot where they would go. So like the highest number only has 5, 6, and 7, or highest color has 5, 6, and 7, where the bottom row has 1 through 9 type of deal. And so at the end of the game, you get points for having all of them connected. But obviously if somebody else has the 6th green, you're not going to get a 6th green because there's only one copy of everything. I thought it was fine. It's a good 2-player game. I don't know if it would get old after playing it many times, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was all right. Go ahead, James. Give me the quick.
I played
Give
it
me
on
the quick.
VGA, and it doesn't mean I know how to play it, so I couldn't figure out how to play it. And Origins, I was like, oh, there it is. I'll ask the people who are running the booth how to play it. Nobody knew how to play it. They couldn't teach me how to play this game.
At the actual booth?
Booth, yeah, I forget who publishes it. But yeah, they got like 3 people, and they all tried. One person just sat there and tried to read the rules. They couldn't figure out the rules. I'm looking at it. I'm kind of baffled. But I was trying to rush through it because you're at a convention, and it's like, I just want these people to show me how to play this real quick. And the cards are tiny, and I don't like that either.
Yeah.
But so I've never really played it because nobody could teach it to me at the booth.
Well, fair enough.
They have little play mats that would help with the placement.
Yeah, I think the play mat is the only thing almost necessary to some regard. But because otherwise you got to look at the little numbers or dots on it or something. I don't know. A little fiddly or whatnot. But if you had play mats or you printed one yourself, definitely enjoyable as a 2-player game. But again, I don't know. Kind of one of those flash in the pan type of games at first glance. So we'll see what happens with it. But played Castle Combo. Finally, it seems like it was all the buzz. It's good. It's good. I won't go into that one. Tons of people talking about it.
Great game.
Moon River, screw that game. It sucks.
Never heard of that one.
It's like it's designed by the same guy that did King Domino, and it's basically King Domino except for each domino is a half piece, and it's got a puzzle connection, and then as you're collecting these things, you build your dominoes and put them into the same thing. So it's King Domino with about 30 more rules.
Oh gosh.
And it loses the charm of what made King Domino a good game, in my opinion. There's some cool stuff.
It has cows.
It does have cows. Instead of like stars on the different terrain tiles to score points per tile that's in the domino collection or whatever, this one, you have to have these cows, and if it has a cow, then you put a meeple on it that's a cow. But and then like your farm area will score farm squares times the number of cows. But there can only be one cow on each tile. On top of that, there's these tiles that have a little skull that will kill the cows. It's really annoying. It's a way more gamier version of King Domino, but I feel like it's like it wasn't necessary. Like they already hit Queen Domino, and I feel like it did just enough more than King Domino, and it was good, but not like overbearing. And this one, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even like Queen Domino. I would rather just play King Domino.
You would hate this.
Yeah, I would absolutely hate it. It's like a roll and write kind of hate for me.
I just got a couple more here. Super Mega Lucky Number or Lucky Box. Super Mega Lucky Box. Little roll and write.
Speaking of roll and write,
it's fun. I'm sorry.
I just played the app.
Oh
it's not bad.
I can see how the app would be less use of paper.
Yeah,
because this is a quick game. It's good though. You're just marking off. You basically got a 3x3 grid of numbers, and you have 3 cards that have it. Dice get rolled, a card comes out, and whatever number it is, you just check off that box. Here's a 7 on here. And if you get a column or a row, you get an unlock, and you can do all these crazy combos. And at the end of all the cards coming out, you get a new, another card that you can mark numbers off of. It's just silly, but for a rolling or for a flip and write, I should say, it's not bad. Like I would probably buy that just for fun. It's a fun little filler flip and write. Last 2 games, Far Away. Ooh. I actually really like that.
Wait, which one?
Far Away.
No, I know, but the card game or the like the board role-playing
card game. Yes,
Okay.
the card game.
Got it. Yep.
Where you're drafting cards essentially, and you put them in front of you in that order from left to right, but then they score at the end of the game from right to left.
Right.
Yeah.
I've played that on BGA and still haven't figured out how to play it. So I'd like to play that in person.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I don't know. If you just play it with people who know how to play it and they're explaining it as they're playing, that might be a little bit better. Like even if you played on like Tabletop Simulator or something, or on BGA, but you're like, talking
live instead of turn-based.
Right.
Yeah.
There's like a semi role-playing game that's also called Far Away. If I ever get the chance to play it, I've had it for so long, I've still never played it. But if I ever do, I'm going to talk about it on here because it's super interesting.
Okay.
But sorry. Anyway.
That's cool. I'm down with that. Last game, other than Wondrous Creatures, which we'll have a whole topic dedicated to, Trailblazers. I am absolutely buying this game. It is really good. Like, it's a tile placement game, essentially. And for me, I'm like, there's so many of them. Okay, cool. I'm sure I'll like it, but I'm not going to be. But this game is really good. It's really thinky for a tile placement game, which is wild. And I think some of it's because these little cards come out that will say, like, during the game, you can score points if you're the first to do this. But there's also these other cards that come out that you get points at the end of the game if you've completed it. And some of them are like, loop a trail around two of the other camp cards. That's crazy hard to do.
Yes.
That's the entire game strategy for you to do that. I do think that maybe some of them are a little bit easier to do than others, which might mean, like, if you're familiar with the game, you can ignore some of them and maybe do better than other players who might focus on those that haven't played the game as much.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just a skill level difference, not necessarily the game problem.
Can anyone build on any trail?
No, you have your own separate.
You're building all your stuff individually.
Oh, that's good. Because otherwise, they could mess you up and it'd be
You
terrible.
put like this 2x2 camp card out, and then all the cards are a 2x like a domino, but you can rotate them and move them
and overlap them.
Yeah. So if you put something down, you're like, I'm going to build this trail. And you're like, well, because you put one camp out now, but you're getting cards and everybody gets cards. And it's like a Ohominy, or I think, where you get like cards, but you play two of them and then you pass the cards left, and you play two of them and pass the cards to the left. So you're getting so many cards that you might be like, well, I got to build this other trail, but I haven't even put that camp out yet. Because you put one camp out at the beginning, one camp out, a third in, and then the sixth, or, 2/3 in. But you're planning ahead of where you're going to put that camp, build some trails. So when you put the camp there, it locks in that loop. Really good.
It sounds intriguing. Yeah, I'm going to check it out. And like I say, I just keep getting ads for this everywhere. Like, I should really look at this.
It's really good. What version did you play? The deluxe or normal version? The retail?
What's the difference?
Deluxe has the PVC cards.
Oh, normal. Yeah, I remember what you're saying now. Like they're waterproof and stuff.
Yeah, we have the deluxe because
it had the travel bag with it too.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what I have. And
expansions.
There are some.
It's like
expansions,
a mini,
like mini animal ones where you can put an animal on the card, but you can't. Once you put an animal on that card, you can't overlap it.
Yeah,
you can't put another card on top of it. So it's kind of rough there. But you score unique animals on your trail.
I feel like we dedicated a topic time to this one. We should have just did this.
But it's up to you. I mean, Crystal mentioned it because the cards are kind of slick. Like too slick, but
like would they slide off of each other?
Not once you place them, but they're hard to handle kind of.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So I don't know if it's better just get retail. That's a lot of people complained about that. And it was just funny. I never told Crystal that, but then once right at the beginning, that's what she mentioned. She's like, these are kind of slick. And so that's just, I
mean, I get it. They're trying to make a travel edition that you can take camping, and if you get them wet, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. You need table space for this game. And like, you're not taking this camping.
No.
Not any more so than you would any other game. Like if you're a person that takes games camping, it's nice that these cards can't get damaged, but you're probably somebody who's sleeving your games. So it's just unnecessary. That seems like a stretch goal for Kickstarter, and that was about it.
Right. There's a Bigfoot expansion if you like Bigfoot.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know what I didn't read the rules for that one, so I don't know what that does, but that was an extra buy on.
The last thing I will mention, because it's game adjacent, is that we went to Great Wolf Lodge, which is an indoor, oh my gosh, I don't know what. Oh, indoor water park where
we
went with kids and stuff. But the big thing, and the reason I'm bringing it up right here, is it had Magic Quest in it, which is an interactive game where you walk around with a wand and you wave them at TV screens and all these really cool things. And you have a book that's like, you got to complete the rune stone or the rune of protection. And you have to go find all these 5 or 6 different things around the hotel and activate them and then go back to the quest tree. And it's really fun. I've been to the actual Magic Quest headquarters or whatever in Pigeon Forge, I believe it's in. Much better there. It's way more immersive. It's got tons of decorations and stuff. This one seems like they just had a bunch of random kiosks placed around in hallways. And so you're like walking through, and you come up to this TV screen and you wave it, or an interactive picture frame and you wave it and things light up. And it's like, thank you for finding the fairy in the forest. It's fun. It's fun to do with the kids, and the wands are pretty cool. Little gamery adjacent thing. And the only thing that really annoys me is that you can buy these toppers for your wand, but they actually do something. Like the more you spin, you can get one that's like a dragon and it will instant kill the red dragon type of stuff. It's like pay to win, basically.
That sucks,
yeah. But I bought it anyway because I like the dragon. I mean, like, it's not going to stop me because it looked cool. And I wanted I had a blue wand from when we went down to Pigeon Forge. And so the blue dragon was just like the best option for it, even though it was $10 more. And I'm like, I got to get that. My wand didn't light up or anything. And this blue dragon like lights up blue with the LEDs in it. Whereas the wands we got for the kids, they actually light up themselves as well. Like one was steampunk and the other one was like a dragon scale wand. They're really cool. It's a fun experience. It's not a game. It's more like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Actually, I say it is a scavenger hunt. The whole thing.
Oh, it is. There's no puzzles to solve. Like,
if you're at the main Magic Quest, I remember it being puzzly as far as like, find this in the place that whispers from the 7 seas, or like little riddles, and you have to go figure out what it's talking about.
It. Yeah.
This one's like, go to the place that's enchanted and find the fairy. I mean, there's one hallway called the Enchanted Woods. Like, like every single thing that you're looking for has a bold enchanted or wispy or, piney woods. And it's like very obvious. And when you go down this hallway, the hallway is probably like 50 feet long of Magic Quest stuff before it starts getting to other things. And so there's like 10 to 15 things that you can interact with. So it's not really hard to find. Plus you can just walk down the hallway like fling, 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 like activating everything. But it doesn't you can't finish the quest unless you're on. So it's a lot of footwork. The only thing that really made it bad is that all the Magic Quest stuff is on levels 3 and 4, and there's no stairs. So you have to take the elevator up between those and back down. And everyone in the hotel is doing that as well. So it's, unless you go during a very unbusy time, 8 or 10 o'clock at night when all the people start bringing their kids in to go to sleep. And then you're taking your kids out and look like a bad parent. Actually, I joke because everybody's kids were up to like midnight. I know this because they stomped all over the floor and were trying to sleep. It's like, dude, anyway. Well, anyway, that is, go ahead, James.
I was like, it's been over 20 years since I've been there. They didn't have that there when I was there.
Yeah,
just the water park pool.
Adding it not terribly long ago, maybe within the last 6 years or so. It hasn't been that long because Eric was on the podcast and he went, and I think we talked about it then.
They have a Thai place across the street that everybody loves.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like Thai, but Thai food.
I don't mind some of it. Yeah.
Love it.
Supposedly there's we went there and we thought it was okay, but everybody seems to love that one across from the Wolf Lodge.
Well,
haven't been there.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we got 3 games we're going to go a little bit more in depth on this episode. We have Here Lies, which is going to be George. We have Wondrous Creatures, which is going to be me, and Etherstone, which is going to be James, or at least just, going over the summaries, and then we're all going to debate and make fun of or whatever we want to do. But we are going to begin with George in the game Here Lies. Take it away, George.
All right, so Here Lies is a game that I just played for the first time this past week. And this is one that I was excited about because I always like detective kinds of games. And so this is kind of a Sherlock Holmesian era sort of a theme. And in the game, lets you choose a character, and you could be Sherlock Holmes, and there are 4 other characters that you can select from. But the game is for 2 to 5 players, so that you're going to choose 4 of the 5 detectives. And are you guys able to see this? No,
I was getting ready to say it's not showing if you're sharing.
Okay, here we go. So you're going to choose one of these detectives, and 4 of you are going to be detectives if you have 5 players, and one will not. One of you will be the lead investigator. So whichever detective is not selected out of the various detectives, then you turn that one over, and it has an ability that the lead investigator can do during the game. All the other characters get a small deck of cards. I think 10 cards or 12 cards, something like that. And each of those cards have abilities on them. And you're going to draw a hand of cards, 2, 3, depending on the number of players, and have access to those as the game goes on. But the point of the game is that the lead investigator is going to read a case. And the case is going to be a series of sentences that put together a little story. And in the story, there are various categories that are going to be required. So you have a layout that, if I can click on the right thing, that has a picture of the body, and then at the top it has some time tokens, and around the outside there are numbers. And around the outside you're going to be placing these required categories. These categories could be a feeling that is required during the crime, or a secret that somebody had, or it could be the identity of the person who was murdered. It could be the identity of the person who did the murdering. It could be the plan of how it was being carried out, the recent event that happened. So it's just all these different things. But each case is going to select 6 of them and then make a little story that in the story of these 6 things, these sentences go together, and each one has something underlined in it. And the underlined part is what the players have to say to get it right. So during the game, there's 3 rounds. Each round, the lead investigator is going to first choose a piece of key evidence to give to the players. And I'm going to use, to give an example, I'm going to use a demo example that is just extra to the game. The game comes with 25 cases. But for example, this is the extra one that you could find online. So if you don't want that spoiled, I guess jump ahead or something. But so you have the name of the person and the year that they were killed, and everything has to be prior to Victorian times or Sherlock Holmes times, right? So in this case, we have Cosima von Weber, and Cosima von Weber was killed in 1872 CE. And then that's what you start with as the players. You get that information. Then the lead investigator looks at round 1, and there are 2 things of key evidence. They decide which one they're going to give to the players. So these are going to, in some way, connect to the 6 categories that the players are trying to figure out. So in this case, the round 1, it's either barely slept or ink stains. And the game comes with these lovely components that you can write on with dry erase markers that the game comes with. So you write that down on one of these key evidence cards and you hand it over. Now they've got a clue. Okay, barely slept. And then that might not obviously tell them very much. But then they're going to look at their cards, and their cards are going to give them abilities to ask things of the lead investigator in different ways. For example, it could say something like, your detective is a ship's captain, and you're going to ask the crew what they know. And it says, for example, write a question on the back of this card that can be answered with a number. The lead investigator writes the correct number on the back of the card, or an X if they can't answer it. That's a pretty specific kind of thing. Like if you're looking for some kind of piece of information that could help you with the case that leads to a number, you can use that card. And it's very cheap. It only costs 1 time. But then there's others that cost a lot more, like this one. It's a fresh lead. Write a question on the back of this card. The lead investigator invents a 1-word response on the back of the card, or an X if they cannot, and places it in the information area, just places it in the place where the players are trying to solve the crime. So even where they place it could give you information. But basically, you can ask anything you want, and they answer it with a one-word answer. That costs 3 time. So in each case, you have a certain limited number of time. And the goal is at the end of the 3 rounds, you're going to be wanting to say your theory of the case that includes all of the underlined words for each of these 6 categories. So for example, in this case of Cosima von Weber, the identity of the murderer, not the identity of the murderer, sorry, the identity of the person who was murdered is, it says, Cosima von Weber was the child of a baroness who was a composer of sonatas. And composer is underlined. So sometime during the game, you as the lead investigator have to get the information across to the players that this person is a composer. They have to say that in order to get points at the end of the game. If they say that they were a composer, they'll get 2 points. If they say a musician or something like that, it's close and they'll get 1 point. And if they don't get it right at all, it's going to be an X and they get nothing. So the most you can get is going to be 12 points during the game. But the really fun part of the game, or one of the really cool things, is during the round, the players are talking about, okay, which cards are we going to spend, the time for to use, right? And then they're going to have access to their different ones and make suggestions and whatever. But they're also talking about what they know about the case and what they think might be going on. As you give them clues, then they keep talking about the case and what they think it might mean and what's happening, and sort of putting forth all these theories. And during the round, if at any time they've said one of the underlined words for that particular category, at the end of the round, the lead investigator indicates with markers which ones they've actually said. It might not be the thing that they're thinking of right now. They might not have stuck with that theory. But if at any time somebody said the word composer, now they think it's a blacksmith or something, so they're way off. But at some point they said composer, then they would get a green check mark. So now the players have to think, wait, okay, what did we say? What were the different things we said? Because one of those was right, which is really an interesting way, I think, to do one of these. And the other thing that makes the game really fun is all the different cards that you get, they just ask interesting things of the lead investigator that might not be in the information that the game gives you. And a lot of them could be draw a picture in a certain way to give information. So you might be, having to draw these different things, and the players have to figure out from your drawing, okay, what are you trying to talk about? What is this trying to tell us? Which can be hilarious. And also depending on your drawing ability. Or it might ask you to write certain words and point at certain things, right? And so you can feel really clever as the players trying to figure it out, but you can feel really clever as the lead investigator, trying to come up with a creative way to help these guys get to the right place, because your goal cooperatively is to get the case solved by the end of the 3rd round, when they've had 3 pieces of key evidence plus whatever they've asked you and whatever you've answered. It's so super fun.
Maybe I've completely missed the goal. How do you know if you win? What determines the win?
So you're if you get everything right, you're going to win. If you say a theory of the case 80% properly,
of it, then you did good.
Yeah, but if at any time you say the whole thing correctly, then the game just instantly stops. You win the game.
Okay.
Right? So that can happen, but it's not very likely.
This is definitely a game I'd have to try, because everything you just said, I was like, okay.
And when I read the rules, for the game, I was really worried about it, and I thought, do you know what? This could be a disaster. Right. And I don't know how I feel about being the lead investigator and having to answer these questions that I may not have access to. But I can tell you, playing this game, it was a blast. I had such a good time for a deduction game like this.
What about the length?
It was long. I'm not going to
what are we saying long?
Sugarcoat that. I think it went probably an hour and a half.
That's not terrible.
Because there was a lot of discussion. There's a lot of discussion going on. Yeah.
That might be group dependent.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, James,
that's true.
Yeah, I'd say this whole game is group dependent. But it sounds interesting. But would the group have to say, in the identity part, will they have to say that whole thing child of baroness?
Not at all.
Composer?
The only thing they have to say is composer.
It seems interesting.
They could say they were the child of a composer, right? Or they could say they are a composer themselves. Or, they were the friend of a composer. It doesn't matter. As long as they say composer.
Yeah, but do you get into the weird thing where it's like, well, he could be a composer, a musician, or a blah blah blah, or a blah blah blah? You know, like would that count?
Yes, it's going to be group dependent on how you want to play. Like there is a thing where you give them a green check mark if they said it exactly right, and there's a yellow bar that you give them if they were close.
Like if they said they wrote music.
Exactly.
And you're like, well, that's composer.
But to me, composer wrote music. I'm counting that. Like, come on.
Oh, okay.
Like I say, play the way that's fun, right? And if you're going to
writing
like
music
that's not fun.
Is a composer. So I would
agree. That's what I'm saying. That would be close. It's just not the exact word there on underlined.
Exactly.
But it'd be really hard, not using this type of old school like Sherlock Holmes or whatever. But if you're using like a profession like today, if there were a server or a butler or like a bunch of things that kind of work similarly, but they say it all in succession.
Yeah. And I say,
it's hard for me to give them a check or anything, because you don't want to give them a yellow check because you're like, you're so close. Well, that means none of those were right.
But
because I'm assuming
they were almost right. Like, and
they were right
you can
because if they said the word composer, like if it said musician or a pianist or a violinist or a composer or this or that.
Right. If they said violinist, I would give them a yellow bar and say you were close.
Right. So then you say, you give them a green check, but do you tell them what word they said?
No, you don't.
It's kind of like a trivia game, but you're allowed to just shout out the answers. So if you shout out 15 answers, is it really?
You're not helping yourself. Yeah.
Right. Oh, and so maybe you shouldn't do that in the first place.
But if other people aren't thinking of it, then maybe you should. I don't know. It's an interesting.
Maybe they're just looking at the lead investigator and saying, was he a violinist? Was he a drummer? Was he a? It's like just
they have to. List. They have to like. Oh, I see. Yeah, when you do
if it feels like cheating, it's cheating.
Right. The final tale of the case at the end. Right. When you give your final theory, you can't say, well, it could have been one of these 12 things. Yeah.
Well, that's true.
That's not acceptable.
True.
Yeah.
You explained, did you say what the time was? It says 6 time there.
They're time pieces that you spend in order to utilize your cards. So some cards cost 1 time because they don't give you that much information, but it might be perfect.
Is that per group or player?
Per group. It's per group.
That's 6 time per 3 rounds. So you get
6 time for every round. Yeah, exactly.
So it's like 6 hint tiles or something, or
yeah, you're deciding as a group which one you should spend on, which is a fun process.
I didn't know if it was just a counter that you fail if you don't get it within that 6 time.
No.
Because that's stuff I would house rule, get rid of that stuff because I just want to solve the case. That's like consulting detective. It says you're trying to beat Sherlock Holmes. Like, no, because he does it in like 3 steps and you're never going to beat him. So I just want to solve the case.
It's not quite like that. But you do have to have constraints on how many hints, you can give. And you feel the pressure, when they're running out of time and you feel like they haven't really gotten close to that one. How can I get them to think that? It's fun. It really is. I was really doubting it when I first looked at the rules and everything. But then once we played, had a good time. I really did.
Yeah,
and the really cool thing that this game is basically, I don't know if you know the game Paranormal Detectives.
I've heard about it.
It's the same idea where there's a case and then you get to find things
I feel
out.
like we played that, but keep going.
With like you make a clue out of wire, or you draw a clue in a certain way, or there's like all these different you write the clue with your finger on somebody's back, right? It's all these different things. And this is a whole lot like that, but that one was competitive, or you can play it in a competitive way, whereas this one is strictly cooperative. And
4 years ago, George.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we need to play it again. Good game. But this one is quite like it. But I kind of enjoyed it a bit more, I think.
Well, let me ask you this thing real quick.
Yeah.
In a lot of these detective games, I feel, like detective or well, you know what I'm saying? Like games like this. Yeah. I feel like the journey is much cooler than the actual outcome, because a lot of those detective games, the thing I don't like is they end with like a list of multiple choice. Like, throughout this, did you like mortem and stuff? Right. When this happened, what did you think the answer was? And you have 25% chance to get it right, even if you have no clue at all, because there's only 4 answers. But like, the point is, the ending to that, I don't like. So like, but getting there was great. The journey of going through like the content was great, but the ending sucked to me.
Then you will enjoy this game because it's all about getting there, and you get hints. You ask for what hints you want, what you think is going to help you. And so cool. It's all about the journey. And at the end, you get the answers, whether you got it right or not. You just say what you think the theory was. And then you find out, oh, that was right, that wasn't right. And then it's like, oh, you were trying to tell us that from that clue? Yeah. It's that kind of thing, which is pretty fun. I think you would enjoy this one.
While you're saying that, let's do some final thoughts real quick. But here's my final thoughts. 2 things. One, I forgot what one of them was, so I'll just do one. For me, a lot of those detective games don't come with a lot of stuff in the box. So once you play it once with the group, you can't play it with those same people, basically, right? So in this case, how much does this come with, and is it justify the price type of deal?
Okay. Well, I'm going to answer that in a couple ways.
And not fan created content, stuff like that. I'm saying what's in the box. What's in the box.
Okay, that's why I'm answering it in a couple ways.
Okay.
If as far as what's in the box, there are 25 cases in the box.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And I think probably 7 of those cases are garbage.
Oh. Like just not done well at all?
Well, yeah. Like to me, 3 of them are tutorial, first of all.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So they don't count. And then let's say 8 of them are garbage. And then so another 5 of them, they're not murders. Like this thing happened and the person died, but yeah, that's not a case. Like that was an accident. That was a thing that happened.
Well, maybe they thought it was a murder, and so that's why you're investigating it, and then you just figure out that it wasn't a murder. It was just dude fell out the window because he was drunk.
Yeah, right. That kind of thing. Right. So, okay. I mean, if you want to, sure. I would rather they were all murders personally, but
that actually seems more hard because you're expecting it to be a murder, and then you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it could be accidental or suicide or whatever. Yeah. All right. Okay. so yeah, let's say there's 20 good ones in there, right?
That's a good amount. It's a good amount.
So, but here's the thing. They say they're making more. Of course, that may or may not happen, so we can't count on that. They probably will. But I just, before coming here for the podcast, got onto an AI thing, and I said, hey, I'm making this detective game, and this is how it works. And I typed it all in, and I said, here's a couple examples for you. And I typed in a couple of ones from the book. And I said, could you make up one just like that for me? And it did. Like it just instantly came up with one, and it's just as good as anything in that book. We're all going to lose our jobs. No, I mean, really, it came up with the key evidence. It came up with the categories. Here's what it came up with. It said, Thomas Blackwood, 1823 CE. And key evidence, muddy boots or a torn contract in the round 1. And then the identity. Thomas Blackwood was a wealthy merchant, and the word underlined is merchant, who traded in spices from the Orient. Foe's identity. His business partner, underlined, had worked alongside him for 15 years building their fortune. The secret. Thomas had discovered his partner was embezzling, underlined, funds and planned to expose him. The foe's motive. The partner faced ruin, underlined, and imprisonment if the theft became known to the authorities. And the plan. The partner invited Thomas to the warehouse to discuss accounts, then strangled him in the night. Strangled is the underlined word. And event. The body was hidden in a shipping crate, underlined, bound for India, nearly escaping discovery.
Huh. That's...
it just came up with that like in a moment, right? So it could do plenty more.
You should be like, make me 20 of these. No.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. Or you could go back to this one and say,
but the good news is it doesn't need like this massive story and this intricate interaction between characters and things like that.
It gives you just enough. It gives you just enough in the game itself, and
it has a little bit of role play going on
where you have to come up with it. There are questions that, as the lead investigator, you're desperately hoping the players don't ask you at times, because it might say something like, say the last 2 items that the dead person touched. And you're like, Like now I have to come up with something because that has nothing to do with the case, but now I have to answer that question.
But
right?
it's not written on it, but you could be like, well, boots and some medicine bottles.
The inside of a shipping crate.
You have to come up with something that would help them, right? Yeah, you could never say like an underlying thing, obviously, but you have to.
Like I couldn't say muddy boots. He touched some muddy boots.
Yeah, but it's that kind of thing where sometimes they come up and they're discussing, and you're listening to everything they discuss because you want to know, have they said the words or not, right?
Yeah, how close they're getting.
And they're talking about which of these clue questions are they going to pay for, and you're thinking if they pick that one, I've got the perfect thing. It's going to solve everything. And if they pick that other one that they're talking about, I have no idea what I'm going to do, which is really fun. Yeah. It's a great
cool.
game.
Is there any other quick thing?
That's everything for me. It's my new detective deduction game that's all kind of story based and really clever and creative, and I kind of love it.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm way more excited as we started discussing the very end of this topic than I was when you were describing it. I think this is definitely a game you need to play.
Yeah.
It's hard to like really get through to somebody how neat it is just by description.
Right.
And I think that the strength that this game has, I guess I will add one more thing. The strength that it has is that in Paranormal Detectives, you were, as players, you were able to ask open questions. You could ask anything you want, right? But that put a whole lot on the players. Whereas this one, you have all these cards and you have to pay for certain cards. And you ask for certain things. And as a constraint, that helps the players really figure out what they're trying to go for or what they are going to do. It shortens the game. And that constraint makes it fun for the lead investigator. Like I said, you have to be very creative at times and show off your creativity to get the players where you want them to be, which is just a joy. Like I think that makes it a stronger game than Paranormal Detectives, really.
Well, cool. All right. Sounds like big praise from George. And
Here Lies.
We'll check it out. That's Here Lies.
Yeah.
All right. So the second game we've got on this episode is a game called Wondrous Creatures. And this is a worker placement / tableau building game. I guess that's the easiest way to describe it. Right. And so in Wondrous Creatures, by the way, it's publisher is Bad Comment and the designer is Yom CW. It looks like Wondrous Creatures. The easiest way I can describe it is it's a worker placement. Even though you look at the board, there's a board in the middle of the table and everybody has their own player board in front of them. The board in the middle of the table has a map that's made up of all these different hexes and there's a bunch of different terrain types and such. It looks like a dudes on a map game or some sort of area control that you're going to be moving around people or whatnot, but it's not. Instead, you have 4 actions that you can take. In each turn, you will take 1 action, and there's some free actions and such, but we aren't not going to get over all the rules of the game. You will take one of your crew members if you choose the place crew action, which is essentially the worker placements piece. And you're going to place one of these crew. It's a fancy looking animal that takes up 2 hexagons, and you're going to place it on a spot on the map. And once you place it there, you will interact with all the hexagons around it, but only the ones that are actually habitats, essentially. So there's like 4 different habitats, and those are going to give you the 4 resources in the game. Some of those have special ability icons on there that you can spin these nets to activate as well. And there's also going to be eggs on the board. If you land on them when you place your crew, you get to pick them up. Otherwise, if they're adjacent to you, you can throw a net and capture them as well. And there's a lot of reasons you want to have eggs, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Another thing that you can do instead of taking the resources from those habitats is actually draw cards from the from the display and put them into your hand and then later play those. The second type of action you can take is to play a card, and you can do that twice. So when you go to do this action, you want to make sure that you can play 2 cards. Essentially, you're going to spend the resources that you've gathered through the worker placement part of it and play cards out on the table to build your tableau in engine that you're designing, essentially. So when you play these cards, there are 5 different types, like instant abilities that happen right when you play them. There's cards that will, at the end of the game, give you scoring. There's cards that will give you ongoing effects, like every time you do something, you get this thing. one of the other ones is an energy card that when you play, it gets energy tiles on it or tokens. And as a free action, you can spend those energy tokens to do the ability on there. The third type of action you can take is to complete an achievement, or I think they're called achievement, but that's what I'm going to call them. At the beginning of the game, you will put out these achievements, essentially. 2 of them are focused on having all these different creatures that you're playing have species, which is just a symbol. There are 7 of them, I think. 6 of them are part of the achievements. So one of them, each game, isn't necessarily as needed as the other ones. But 2 of those achievements will need you to collect 2 species. So for instance, you might need the dragon and the lizard species, or whatever their actual names are, black and green. And if you have so many of them, then you can claim the achievement. Whereas some of the other achievements will just require you to have one type, like the butterflies. There's also some basic achievements that go out, and those are usually, have so many unhatched eggs or have so many cards in front of you and things like that. Anytime an achievement is claimed, you will get a trophy. And that's the main way that the game is going to be driving itself towards the end. Depending on the player count, there's so many trophies. You get trophies from completing these achievements. There's some other ways, like as you go up on the score track, a lot of the points in the game are scored at the end of the game, but some of them are scored during the game. And as you pass these areas on the score track, you'll get trophies as well. And as the game progresses and you do the 4th action, which I'll talk about in a minute, the time track will move. And when the time track reaches the end, the game doesn't end. It actually starts burning these trophies off the track, which can cause the game to. So that last action you can take is the one that everybody likes the most. In many games, it's the rest action. It's called recharge in this one, but it basically allows you to pull your guys back from the board, do some recharge action cards that you have in your tableau, reset a few things. That's the only time your hand size is checked, so that goes down to 5. And then you'll move up the time track, and that's it. And the game keeps going round and round and round until all the trophies has been taken. Everybody besides the player who took the last trophy gets one final turn. And then you go through the scoring process. Makes sense. I mean, there's either red, everything on these cards is either red or brown when it comes to points. If it's brown, you get it during the game. If it's red, you get it at the end of the game. And as you're going up on the score track, you actually pass up different little spots that will give you like bonuses like nets, or it'll allow you to place new tiles out on the board. There's these little lakes that as you pass these discovery tile or spots, you get to put one of the habitats on the board, and it kind of changes the board state as far as the worker placement aspect is concerned, because now this one spot that you can put a guy on or a crew member on was only giving you green resources, but now it's also giving you a perk. And that's crazy good based on different factors. Maybe you're going for that strategy and you need a lot of cards that require mushrooms, which are the purple. So that's pretty much the overview of the game. Now we'll jump into what we like and dislike and everything like that. So I'll talk about my first thing. One, I was reading that people, because at first I really didn't look into this game that much. I kind of looked at it and I was like, okay, sure, I'll try it out. And when we were at River City Con in Louisville, I think not last time, but the time before that, maybe it was last time, James, we checked this out, but we actually didn't play it.
Right.
Now I'm disappointed we didn't, because I would have enjoyed it. But more so when I looked at this, you don't look at it and think worker placement, but man, some people say this isn't very innovative. I'm going to disagree wholeheartedly. The worker placement part of this game is awesome because it's very dynamic. The spaces change. You can shift your crew member by 1 hex and it interacts differently. Now, is it mind blowing what you're getting out of these spots? No, you're just getting different resources, but the combos that you can pull off and the places that you can stop other people from going to, yes, or forcing somebody else to pay money, or not money. Yeah. But when you go onto the green spaces, it costs you resources to go there. Man, I don't know. What do you all think about that? The worker placement part of it?
Well, for the first thing though, to say, gigantic, gorgeous meeples to place with with magnetic mounted rider dudes. It's it's fantastic. Okay, but artwork aside, which is wonderful, I absolutely agree with you. The fact that you're all playing on the same board and you're where you're playing your pieces can really change what somebody can or can't do. Yeah, that is fantastic. And the way that you can change the board as well, it's like, yeah, every little thing they've thought of in this game. I love it.
George is saying what I was going to say. Yeah, the board changes. If I recall correctly, during the playthrough, the board kind of changes of the spots that will give you stuff, and I think you can decide what goes there. And it might screw over your other people, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got 20 things to say about this, but I've forgotten 19 of them, so I only have one thing. I do love this game, and it reminds me a lot of Life of the Amazonia, or On the Amazonia.
Oh.
But I think this kills that game. I think this replaces it for me because it's an amazing game. It was very fun.
Yeah, it's really smooth.
And I am sad we didn't get to play it at River City Con.
Yeah, and let's just talk about components real quick. I have the standard edition of the game. I chose not to buy the upgraded components, but I did buy the small mini expansions. It's like the Gargantuans and the Crew.
Yes.
I have not played with those, but they are it's interesting. The Crew is almost so minor because you get a card that basically says once per game you can do this thing.
One thing.
But it comes with, each player has like meeples, right? For their little animals. So you got 3 meeples, like you said, one with a magnet. The Crew comes with another set for each player, plus a purple set, which is just kind of like anybody can use. And then basically 1 card for every set. So 4, 8, like 9 cards. It is the absolute, in reality, it's a waste of money because you get 9 once per game abilities when you could just like write them on paper and say, which one do you want? So you're paying for the meeples, clearly.
They're gorgeous though.
They are really, that's the weird thing I was going to say. Like, I feel that they had these like Kickstarter, like the Crew and the Gargantuans were like Kickstarter thing. I didn't follow the Kickstarter, so I might be wrong on this, but I feel like those are the add-ons for Kickstarter stuff. They should have combined that into one actual expansion and released it instead of having it separate.
Yeah.
The Gargantuan expansion seems a lot better as far as like gameplay for your money.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Crew is not worth it. It absolutely is because the animals are really cool looking. And I think you do get 4 other captains, maybe, if I remember correctly.
You get more captains. I don't know how many.
Yeah. Or maybe that's in the other one. But either way, I guess we're not talking about the expansions. The point is, though, I didn't get the upgrades to the game because it makes everything wooden, and that's fine. And I was watching the Dice Tower, and Tom was saying he really likes the eggs being wooden because it's easier to pull them out of the bag. You only do that 5 or 6 times in the game, and I know it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't that big of a deal. So I didn't find it that big of a deal to pull them out of the bag, although it would have helped if they were wooden instead of like little thin pieces of cardboard. But the trophies being like metal, it's kind of like more of like, if you like to bling out your game with a little bit of a gameplay enhancement because it makes it pull easier and chunkier out of the bag. Cool. Seems a little bit expensive to me, but the components are really awesome that come in the base game without having the upgraded components, because all the meeples with the magnets, the screen printing, all that's really good.
Double-sided player boards, like where it's like recessed.
Yes, just in the base game. The base game components of this are fantastic. So other things I like about the game too, though, the cards, I really like how clearly identifiable they are. You look at a card and you see that is a card that happens one time when I play. It's instant. It's the color brown. It's got a color and it's got an icon.
So the graphic design is really well done.
The graphic design is really well done. It's also got one of the things I think they should do all the time. And I know it sucks if you're the publisher, but card games that have iconography followed by words. So you can read the card. You don't have to look anything up at all, because you can look at a card and it says, get a point for every 2 hatched eggs. But then you can just read below it and it says exactly that. There's no questioning. You know exactly what a card's going to do because it has it in full English right below it.
Like
okay, that's very
Mars.
true.
Yeah.
So I really like games that include that. I get the publishing problems because if you're publishing it in 6 languages, you got to translate every single card and stuff like that. It's no longer language independent.
And I don't know if we've said this yet, but the artwork on the cards, everyone is gorgeous, and it's all these little like Pokemon creatures. They're just adorable, amazing. The only thing I don't like are the names.
Well, the names are kind of silly.
Yeah,
they're pretty generic. Yeah,
it's almost like
that's okay.
Like Crystal Llama. It's a llama with crystals.
Yeah, that's not good. But the artist is great.
The art's really good. As far as I understand, that every single card in the deck, and it's a big deck. It's like 120 cards or something.
Yeah, big deck. Yeah.
Every card is unique, but it doesn't mean that they're that different from each other. There's a couple of crossovers. There's a couple of instant ones that are very similar, if not the same power, just maybe different resources, different habitat, different species for both, but there's enough variability or variety, in the cards that it's really cool. With that being said, though, even in a 4-player game, you kind of go through all the cards. So it would be nice if there was a lot more cards just for replayability, because if you can mill through the deck in one game, like to me, I feel that, I don't know, there's not enough cards, I guess.
Maybe, but then again,
but that's only in a 4-player game. We've played it plenty of times, 2-player, and you don't go through the whole deck.
Right, but what it also suggests is that there is card mill, that it's not static, that the cards that you have access to change enough, right? That it's not, they're not going to be crappy cards just sitting out there that nobody wants. So I do like that. There
are plenty of things in the game that what's called sweep in this game that sweep the wilderness or the display. It really works in an interesting way, because when you sweep, you either choose the left 3 cards or the right 3 cards. I think the iconography for that could have been done a little bit different, because it's like 1 broom or 2 broom. They could have easily printed on the wilderness board like a 1 broom that's like red and it has an arrow to these 3 cards, and 1 broom that's blue and it has an arrow to both these 3 cards. And then when you print both brooms, it means sweep both. And the only reason I say that, though, is because sweeping, I guess in reality, it's not that big of a deal, because everything in the game has text to it, except for sweeping is the only text you see is in the rule book. So it's like, that's the only thing you really have to remember. Like, what does 1 broom do? What does 2 broom? Okay, cool. Everything else, I could just read the card, right? But if it was like a blue and a red broom, and they're facing left and right, it would make more sense, and it would be more intuitive, I guess. But it's like so nitpicky, because like, if that's the only thing you have to remember rules wise, as far as the icons go, not a big deal.
Yeah. It's an engine building game. You're building out your tableau, and you want to get synergies and combos between the cards, and there are so many of them, but there are certain ones you're going to want to have. So you need to sweep quite a bit to get to the cards that are going to go together for what you want to do, which is nice. That you're able to do it.
And one of the coolest things I like about this game is some of those card types is a recharge action. And if you're looking at the screen, it's this orange one at the bottom left with the hourglass. And this one, it basically says when you go to do the rest action, essentially, I do air quotes there, the recharge action. Normally in games, it's really boring because you just pull all your stuff back and you're moving some tracks up or whatever. But in this one, if you have a lot of recharge actions, you're doing a full turn during that, because you're getting resources, or you're triggering other cards, or you're getting to do some a little bit gambly things where, there's one that you can draw a card from the top of the deck and you get points per that habitat. So if you draw like a blue habitat, for every blue card you have in play, you'll get points for it. So it's a little bit gamble, right? But if you have a bunch of these recharges, you don't care to recharge because you're going to get all this stuff from doing so. Now, obviously you spent stuff to get those cards, but that's progressing you through the game. But the only thing I don't like, very minor, everybody starts with their own captain and you have a special ability, but that ability is locked at the beginning of the game until you get your first trophy, which is annoying. I like special abilities to be available right off the bat. Not that it takes long to get. The only thing it saves it is the idea behind why, because some of those achievements are, have 6 butterflies, right? Or have 3 butterflies, or have 6, or have 9. You get the most points for having 9, but you can claim that with just 3. And the first time you get a trophy, you unlock your captain ability. So it forces players to just take achievements really quick.
Yep.
Just to unlock their captain ability. And you can't claim the same achievement twice. So now I know George unlocked the butterfly achievement. I can go ham on butterflies and not be super worried although there's only 3 spots in a 4-player game, so you are vying for territory there. So it is, even though I don't like not having my special ability available at the beginning of the game, it is really awesome the way they integrated it into the achievement system.
Yes.
So I am perfectly fine with that. So that's more of a me problem, not the game.
Everything about the game seems considered and built to go well together. It's just an elegant game, even though it's one of these games where there's all these cards and they all do different things. And so if you're playing with new players and people have to read all the cards and they get swept a lot, so they get replaced. Okay, now they're reading a whole bunch of cards all the time. Okay, that's going to slow the game down. But even with that kind of being said, the overall impression of the game to me was just smooth and satisfying.
Agreed. And with you saying the word smooth, I'm going to give final thoughts here. For my final thoughts, one of things that it's kind of a theme for this episode. I've been reading a lot of really low ratings on games. And in this game, some people, and even in video reviews, people are saying this game is overly lengthy. I'm sorry. That is you. That is your group. You take too long. I don't know what else to say.
It didn't feel like that.
We've played 4 players and it's about 2 to 2.5 hours. It is. People are saying this game's 4 and 5 hours. You're an inexperienced group. I don't know what else to say. It is really not that complicated of a game. It really isn't doing anything super innovative as far as, it's a tableau worker placement. There's 1,000 of them out there. And I don't mean that as a dig towards the game, but what I mean is there's nothing that you're reading here that is so new and mind-boggling that your gaming group should be like experienced gaming groups should be like, oh, I don't even know what to do. If this is taking you 4 hours, then you need timers on people's turns because I don't, it's baffling to me that people say this is a 4-hour game. Like I get it. A vast plurality of games out there lie about their box time. They absolutely do. They're like, well, this game takes 25 minutes. Yeah, sure. I guess your playtesters who've played it 400 times have honed it down to 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But you're not being serious towards people I get it. New time playing the game. It's going to take longer than the 5th time playing the game. And so a lot of box times are just completely inaccurate to the most part, especially Fantasy Flight games. It's like 240. If the game is above 240 minutes, they cap it. This game's 7 days long, 240 minutes. But it is not that long of a game. I'm sorry. So if you've been watching videos or whatever, as long as your gaming group has played a lot of games, you should be able to knock this out under 3 hours. And if you think that's a long game, that's a different story. If your gaming group thinks 3-hour games are long, I would consider this a long game, but I wouldn't consider it a 5-hour game. It is a 3-hour game, and your gaming group should be able to get it roughly around 2.5 to 2 hours after a few plays.
Yes, and even if you don't want a 3-hour game, this game is so good that
it is good.
Just do this simple house rule: remove some of those trophies. You're done. The game is shorter. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's one of those games that didn't feel like it was that long when you're playing it.
I agree. But I have played longer games, so maybe the people who really want a much shorter game, they really do want a much shorter game. And if you do, just remove some of those trophies. That's the trigger to the end of the game. So that's all you have to do.
That's true. Or instead of removing the trophies, you can make the time track, customize it a little bit more for your play style, because the time track, if you remove the trophies, then you kind of remove some of the race for the achievements. But if the time track is burning them off a lot quicker, that might help. Maybe just say a third through the time track, it burns one. A sixth through the time track, it burns one.
Yeah.
And then it starts bouncing at like it normally does. But anyway, we're not here to fix the game or whatever. The point was, it's not as long as what some people make it out to.
Yeah.
But it is not a short game, but it is a really good game. Anyway, anything else
This is one of the ones I wish I backed on Kickstarter, mainly because it's my own thing. Is I 3D printed the insert, and now every player box has an empty spot where the Kickstarter animals are supposed to be.
Oh,
it bugs the
wow.
crap out of me. They're not useless. I mean, they're just a different set of animals, so it's not. You can still play the game, no problem. But it just bugs me.
Are those the one that's in the crew, or is that like Kickstarter exclusive?
I've got the Gargantua, the 2 mini
Oh,
expansions.
yeah,
So yeah, it was the Kickstarter exclusive,
Yeah,
and
there
I
were
was like
Kickstarter
looking for
ones,
them,
yeah.
and you can't buy them, and they're, like I said, they're pointless because you already have 2 sets of animals you can use. So it's not. It's just a third set that you don't really.
Yeah,
it makes no difference.
I gotcha. All right, well, cool. Well, high recommendations, I guess, from all 3 of us for this game. That is Wondrous Creatures, and I'm just gonna say, if it looks like something your gaming group would play based on what we said, I would absolutely get it and immediately buy the crew and the Gargantuans, and then debate getting the upgraded components. But the crew and the 2 expansions add so little as far as like changing the gameplay, but it adds enough of things to get excited about. So
yeah,
always
gorgeous.
Get the upgraded components.
Yes,
gorgeous components.
Oh,
gorgeous game.
Always.
Sorry. Always
Delightful.
bling it out no matter what.
Yes.
Anyway, that's Wondrous Creatures. And last up on this episode of the podcast, we are going to have James explain to us Etherstone. Take it away, James.
Okay, Etherstone. I backed this on Kickstarter after I played it 2 players on Tabletop Simulator back in early 2024. It came out 2025, middle of the year, and I'm gonna kind of cheat on how to explain it or what it is from BGG. It's a dice drafting, hand management type game. A lot of people compare it to Res Arcana, so keep that in mind when I'm explaining. My
interest got piqued.
Hold on here. Every time I can't get to the tabs because this.
While you're doing that and figuring out that technical difficulty, I actually, when you said you were going to talk about Etherstone, there's another game that's like a co-op game that has a similar name. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh,
but that's what I thought you were going to talk about. I was like, man,
no,
going to talk about
this
co-op.
is a card game. So what you're doing, you have at the beginning of the game, the setup, you're getting a leader card, and leader cards you'll get to pick from 2. And I'm going to zoom in on this.
Tim, you were thinking of Aeon's End, weren't you?
No, I think it has the word ether. I'll look it up while he's talking.
That's not the leader card.
You can zoom in, if you want to see the pixels on the card, go a little closer.
Yeah. I'm trying to find, they didn't have very pictures on here. I guess I should have taken pictures of it myself. And
as always, we thank everybody
unique.
who posts on Board Game Geek their content that we can use.
Amazing.
We try to we don't say it out loud, but if you watch the videos and you're looking at the pictures, because that's where we want to give the credit to, we try to make it to where you can see the person who posted it, just to give them credit that way. We're not going to call you out, but we thank you and we thank Board Game Geek. Awesome. Who's a patron? Raise your hand. Bam. It's one dude.
The art in this game is really very unique and stylistic. Love it.
And so you draw a leader, and that tells you in the top right, it tells you your life points. And I call it life points because it's not hit points. If you go to 0, you don't die and get out of the game. You'll have to reset, and I can explain that. And it gives you the starting Etherstones that you get. Unfortunately, the one they're showing here, you also get abilities. This one didn't have abilities. It's because it's so strong in the attack at the 6. The bottom right there is the attack points you get from him. So what you do is you have 7 cards, and everybody gets 7 cards, but then you draft. So it's a quick draft to start the game. And those 7 cards are the cards you have the rest of the game. That's all you have in your hand, or 7 cards. And so on your turn, what you're trying to do is you've got, there's going to be 4 dice out here. Actually 5, I'm sorry. 4 colored dice that match the color of the Etherstones, and 1 purple dice, which is a wild dice or die. So on your turn, you can draft one of those die, and whatever color it is, you draw 2 of those Etherstones. Now, there's one ding against this game is the white die. It's actually a blue Etherstone. I don't know if they just tried to do blue and it just didn't work, and they didn't change the Etherstone color, but the white die is the blue Etherstone. So you draft that, you pull it out of these little rings. That just means you drafted it. And the numbers don't matter at that point unless the cards allow you, and I'll explain that. The colors, it's always 2 Etherstones of that color. The purple one costs you 1 life point to draw to draft, but you can make it whatever color you want and get 2 Etherstones. And Etherstones are used to pay for cards from your hand. And the Etherstone or the cards will call it, that's one action. You can play a card from your hand and you pay for it for Etherstones. It's like this one is 3 Etherstones to play. So you'll spend the Etherstones and put it in front of you. The cards will, and symbology is really heavy in this game. Luckily, this game comes with a great player aid for each person, a card that tells you every little thing. So if you don't know what it is, you can look on that and it'll tell you exactly what it is. And the cards have abilities, and a lot of times they're reactive abilities is what I call it. There's some that are ongoing, but the numbers will on the dice when you draft them. If like in this card it says 3-4, so if you have a 3 on there, then on the die that you draft, then you get to do what's on that card. That says place one of those tokens what it shows there on that card.
Yeah.
Or you can remove it to attack. And attack is one of the other actions you can do is you attack the threats. They're in the middle here. And they, on the top right of this, I think the other thing showed it better. Yes, it did. I'm having trouble working that. Okay. So they tell you how much you have to have attack. You can't attack if you can't have the power to attack it. So that you can't do that action if cards that you've played, and it's only cards in play untapped. So you have 7 followers more or less, and you have a leader, and the leader has a value on it. So you can attack these threats is what they call them. And on the top right left, they give you, that's the points that card's worth if you defeat it.
Okay.
And then it also gives you something this is in a different language, so I can't tell you, but I can tell you that card gives you 2 gray Etherstones if you beat it. So what you're doing is you have enough in front of you, not in your hand. It has to be cards you played. Not all of them can attack. They don't have attack points. So some of them are just cards that help you do other stuff, and it's usually the reactive activations, and they're more or less technology cards. And so every card you use to attack, you have to tap it like Magic the Gathering. You turn it, except for the leader. If you use the leader in the attack, that never gets tapped, so it's always used. The only thing is, if you use the leader card, on the threat card, it has, like this one says 3. That's how many life points you lose. You don't lose those points if you don't use the leader to attack. So yes, the leader is going to help you a lot, especially with the 11 hit point card, but it's going to cost you life points. So that's what you're doing for attacking. You're attacking these cards, and the deck is set up based on number of players, and it's got level 1, 2, and 3 cards. So they get progressively harder to kill as you go down in the deck. Then also what you do, you can also rest, which you said that on another game. That will just allow you to untap. That could be your turn. You rest and untap your cards. Like this guy over here's got a tapped card right here. He used this to attack a threat, and he's got the Etherstones. And then if your life points go down to 0, you become corrupted. You don't die, you become corrupted. And there's a life dial, and you put that life dial on your leader. And the next turn, you have to do what they call a void pact, which means you just raise your life dial back to the default life points on your leader. And then you take a token, which is -7 points at the end, which is called a void pack. There are some leaders that void packs will help you if you get it. So, I mean, there's certain leaders, but leaders will most likely always have an ability on them. And that's pretty much, I just explained the whole game to you.
So if you die, it's like a skip a turn.
Yes. But it's -7 points.
Yeah.
At the end of the game per death. But it's not really death. You're corrupted.
Okay.
So
but you're not
goal?
attacking.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
The goal is to score as many points more than everybody else.
Right. Because you're not attacking.
The end game is triggered by 3 ways. There's victory point tokens, which are these yellow things here. If those run, there's a number of those based on the number of players. If those run out, the end game is triggered.
Okay.
If the last threat card in this pile gets turned over onto the board, the end game is triggered. Or if you play your 7th card from your hand, if one player plays the 7th card from their hand, the end game is triggered. And then what it is everybody gets an equal amount of turns. So if the first player triggers in game, then the other 3 players get. But if the
Just
last
finish the
player,
round.
yeah, you finish the round, and it's a 30 to 60 minute game, and that's pretty. Learning is 60 minutes.
Let me ask you one question real quick. Sorry, George. I know you had something you were going to say.
Okay,
Go ahead.
You mentioned this being close to Res Arcana.
that's what everybody says.
Okay, my question is this: is it close to it just because it's the same? I'm going to grab this resource. Okay, it's my turn. You're going to do this.
You're engine
it's like
builder.
real quick. Yeah, real quick turns basically.
Right, and your engine building because you put down the cards to activate. Like I said, there weren't very good pictures of the cards and the activations. I can like you. There's a card that you can play. I mean, they get real expensive. The better ones get expensive, obviously, and like this one I'm looking at is 1 to 6. If you draft a die with 1 to 6, which is any of them, you can get a gray Etherstone for free, and that's anytime as long as you have that card out. And even if a card is tapped, it still will activate. So it just can't be used to attack unless it's untapped. So all the cards have activations on them.
Yeah.
Based on what you want to do. Like if you when you draft a die, the cards also have instant activations when you play them. There's also activations before you play them. Like I guess if you they'll say like if you have this kind of card, this card is cheaper to buy. And there's also in-game activations. There's persistent, they call it, and when attacking activation. So certain cards, they might not have attack value on them, but they might help you when you're attacking a threat. So that's where, and we played this twice last night because it's like I said, it wasn't that long. And the first time, the guy that won it, he didn't attack anything. He didn't attack threats at all. So it seems like you have to attack threats to win the game because they get up to like 5 points and stuff, and even higher in points. And that's a lot of points in this game. But he didn't do that at all. And there's a lot of activations that will give you on these cards that you play that will give you points, those point tokens. That's the only way you get those. You don't get them from a threat. So you get them from the card activation. So you can get a lot of points that way. And I always say the cards you play from your hand have point values. So you do want to try to get a bunch of those out so they will score at the end of the game for you. And it's very, like I said, it's very symbol heavy related and word related, like the type of cards. But there's ways, we started playing it, it was real easy. You remembered easily what everything meant. It wasn't that hard there weren't that many things to remember. But at first it seems like it, but then once you really start getting into it, you feel it and you're like, okay, I know what this means now. This means this means that. And when you draft, one thing, like when you draft the purple die, it will cost you a life point. If I didn't say that already, I think it did. Also, on your turn, if there's no dice to draft, you have to re-roll them all, and they all go back to the middle to be drafted if you wanted to do that. But you have to re-roll them if no dice are out there, if they've all been drafted. You can spend life points to re-roll all the dice based on how many dice are left. If there's 2 dice left to be drafted, and you're like, I don't want those, but I don't want to re-roll them all, you can spend 2 life points to re-roll everything. That does come in handy sometimes. The second game we played, the one guy had to end it with playing cards because one guy had this combo that was just killing us all. And I mean, he was taking life points from everybody left and right. And so it can be mean. So if you don't like mean games, this game's probably not for you. But the first game, we didn't have any of those cards, so we didn't know how mean it was going to be. So we played, there was enough cards.
Directly attack each other, you're saying?
Yeah,
that was my
like,
question.
when I draft a 5, everybody has to take one life point away from themselves. And then he'd say, well, is anybody 3 or less? If so, he got a point.
I see what you're saying. So you're not directly targeting a player, but you're doing
everybody.
Things and everybody gets hurt.
Okay.
Right, everybody gets hurt. So it's not ever
That's not bad.
That's not the same kind of meanness.
Right. But he leaned heavily into that when he drafted the cards, I guess, and I didn't realize that, and he was attacking a bunch of people. And I died once the second game, and I got a -7, but I still got third place, I think. So it wasn't that harsh to get that. And I discarded one leader that would have helped me with those. So I was kind of sad. I didn't realize he was going to attack so many. But there was enough cards in the game that we played at full player count that we played twice, and the second time we just used the rest of the deck. of the follower cards.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't burn
That's not
through them
bad.
all. Because obviously, like 7, so 4 times 7 is 28. So there has to be more. I say there's about 50 cards
I like the artwork.
or more.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
the
feel like
artwork is
yeah.
its main thing.
it's going to
It
be
is-
one of those things where you either like the artwork or it's going to turn you away from the game heavily.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's kind of morbid in some places, but I didn't really pay attention. I'm not much to looking at the artwork.
Like
I'm more
Kingdom Death Monster without, well,
looking at all that. Like his thing was also our one player, he's like, he played a card in front of him that said, if anybody plays, and that was him too, played a technology card or a void card, you had to spend one more Etherstone to buy it. So it kind of hurts you that way. But unfortunately, he realized, oh, wait a minute, after he played it, that affects me too. And so it's really, well, I'll tell you my opinion. I mean, do you have any more questions on the gameplay?
last thing I will ask, because you didn't really get to it.
No.
Comparing it to Res Arcana. And first off, have you played Res Arcana?
Not in person. I played it on BGA a bunch.
That's fine. I mean, I think it's not as close as what people are saying.
I don't think
to
it
be.
is. I didn't see it.
Okay. I was gathering that too.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a big difference. In this game, you get 7 cards that end your leader, and that's all you get. And
Res Arcana is just like resource generation to
right.
buy artifacts or whatever they're called. Like,
Yeah, I didn't think. I mean, you're drafting the die to get the ether stones. And you're just
Yeah.
trying to collect ether stones to buy cards in your hand to play them in front of you, and hopefully synergy of them working together. Is
yeah.
what you're hoping to do.
but the
And that's
point
what
is, you've already got all your cards. So now you have to think of the best way to use all your cards. You're not drawing cards like you do in Res Arcana.
Right,
There's
so,
no luck
yeah.
of the draw at
And
all.
I saw that a bunch, and even like Z from Dice Tower said that it reminded him of Res Arcana. So I didn't really feel that way. One of the other people that we played kind of said that, but
I kind of see why people might draw the conclusions, but it's just because you're trying to correlate it to something out there on the market is really
Good drafting dice, it's kind of like Seasons.
now I don't know. Like I said, I have kickstarted this, so the ether stones were wooden. So
Seasons
I don't know.
is too old now, George. It's past 3 years old, which means
Seasons.
I love Seasons.
I can kind of see the comparison to Seasons, like drafting the die and the
right. The more I thought about it, it made
Yeah.
more sense. Yeah, because you're drafting a die to get the resources, which is exactly what you're doing in this, and you're playing the cards that essentially that you drafted at the beginning of the game.
And you have to stress that the number on the die does not matter by getting the ether stones. So when you draft it, it could be a 2, and none of your cards trigger off a 2. So all you're getting it for is the color of the ether stone that you're wanting.
Yeah.
So they emphasize that because a lot of people probably get confused. Like if you
You're not going to get 6.
Yeah,
5,
of a green, which would be nice sometimes. But
do you hate draft then because you know somebody else might need a 2?
we had to do that with the second game because the guy, like said, he was 4 and 5s were going to hurt us. So if a 5 was out there, one guy's like, I can't let you have that 5 because I don't want to die here. So, but it's not that harsh because, like I said, you can use the purple die, which will give you any color you want, but it's just going to cost you a life point. Also, the cards, like the cost of some of the cards, let me see if I can zoom in on here. Like this dude, well, that's a leader, or that's a threat. Sorry. Like I said, there weren't many pictures on. Is there a key combination to switch tabs? Because the screen sharing thing keeps popping down on me.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at these. So, okay. Like this is 2 red ether stones, and the purple means any. So you can any combination. So this costs 4 ether stones, which is kind of expensive because you're only getting 2 at a time when you draft a die, and you're not. That's your whole turn drafting a die. But notice when it says when you pull a card back to your hand, which you can, or actually, let me see what that means. Symbology. I don't recall seeing a diamond. When you recall a card, what is that? That must have been a.
Well, what's your main point though? We don't have to go very specific.
Well, I'm just saying,
card.
You're just using the ether stones to buy these cards, and you're not going to most likely buy all your cards in your hand unless you want to end the game.
Yeah,
like we had to one time
because you might draft a bunch of expensive cards and not really. So
and
you want to keep that in mind.
And that's what helped me in the last game is I had a card that said you get 2 points at the end of the game for every card that's you had to spend 4 or more ether stones on, and that's all I had out there. So that gave me it gave me like 8 or 10 points. So there's multiple ways of scoring points is what I'm trying to say. There's no one path to win the game. You can ignore threats and not attack them, or because you might not end up with cards that attack very well. And once you start getting into the level 2 and 3, they're going to get high and it's going to be hard to attack them. There's nothing unless you have a card that allows you to bolster up one of your cards to attack, you're out of luck. You're just going to try to put out your cards and score that way, or do activations, which score you a lot of points.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying this out. It looks a lot cooler than I initially thought as you brought up the pictures, the way you described it. So
sorry.
No, you described it. Well, I'm saying as you described it, I got more excited is what I'm saying.
I would give it, I'd say an 8 out of 10. It's that good. It's a really fun game. It's fast. I mean, the second game we played, probably no more than 45 minutes, if that.
And the last thing I'll say is it was Ether Fields is the game I thought you were going to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And one minor thing, there's a token here in the middle. If whoever ends the game or triggers the end game gets 2 points. You get that token and it's 2 points at the end of the game. But
interesting.
I mean, the last game, the winner got 33 points and the other 3 of us were in the 20s. So that's kind of what, if you want to think of scoring, it's not going to be like 100 points or more. It's a low scoring game.
Yeah. You get 7 cards. But that's it.
We all enjoyed it very much, and it was pretty fun. I'd forgotten how to play it since it had been a year and a half since I played it online, but it was very good. I mean, I'm glad I bought this, and I highly recommend playing it if you get a chance. I mean, we can meet up on Tabletop Simulator and play it.
There we go. I'm down. I'm down.
We need to get back to doing that.
We do.
Not as frequently, but maybe once a month or something.
Are there deluxe versions and retail versions?
I don't know. That's what I didn't look. This has got wooden Etherstones. I'm trying to think. Those point tokens were wooden. Everything else was cardboard. So thick cardboard though. And I'm not sure if where the threats are, there's that board there. I don't know if that's a normal retail version or not. That might be in the Kickstarter version. You don't really need that. That's just
just to help you look cool and stuff. Help you remind you. Well, anyway, any final thoughts real quick? Because we're gonna wrap it up.
Like I said, definitely try it out if you can, because it's a really good game. Like I said, you will get a little overwhelmed on the symbology. We learned that it's not what iconography. It's symbology.
Tune in 5 episodes ago.
But like I said, once you start going into it and you've got that great player aid, you'll figure it. And once you start saying, you're like, okay. I mean, it didn't take us very long to get in the groove of it, knowing what those symbols are. Yeah. And it's a very good game.
Well, cool.
Highly recommend it.
I'm interested. Gonna check it out.
All right, that is not Ether Fields. That is
Etherstone.
Etherstone. Anyway. All right, well, we're gonna wrap this episode up. We want to thank you for tuning in to episode 159 of the MeepleCore Gaming Podcast. This episode was recorded on January 2nd, 2026. Happy New Year. Please send us your questions and comments to meeplecore@gmail.com. Follow MeepleCore on your favorite social media platforms. Check out the video versions of the show on youtube.com/MeepleCore when I post them. Until next time, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple.
George Breden.
James Fitzgerald.
Keep on rocking and rolling dice.